following material may contain sex, coarse language, and violence.
And some people are too dangerous to just get arrested.
I'll get in trouble if I agree openly with what he just said.
Yes, especially since that can open us up to the kind of disciplinary charges that you skated on. Says one other girl you've never seen before.
Look, we should be honest, we don't exactly have the cleanest of records.
That would explain your recent demotions, says the same girl.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
And you are?
Hmm?
And you are?
Vanessa.
You seem to be following us quite a lot.
Netrunner.
Oh.
I'm looking you up right now.
Oh, okay.
It's good, we need more
Before
of those
right
in the
now, I'd
force.
never heard of either of you.
Don't get a lot of scream sheets.
Corporate pandering and lies and advertisements? No, I'm good, thanks.
Look, I'm going to be the first to admit that the system fails. Otherwise, Khan wouldn't have been let back on the street so many times.
I had a thought and then I lost it completely.
Damn, there's an event. And you ruined it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you've got to do what it takes to stop innocent women getting raped every night. And brainwashed. And drugged. And everything else. Because the system ain't going to save them. Only you can do that.
I mean, I would argue that if you're willing to do whatever it takes, eventually you're going to turn into the exact kind of criminal, depriving other people of process and rights and things that you're aiming to put away. And how long until that behavior gets you labeled as a rogue?
And if it does, it does. But there's a difference between people who should be trialed because there is a reason for doubt and people who you absolutely know are guilty and so you saw do these things with your own eyes. And then
Society has
the system
decided collectively that the arbiter of these things is a justice or a jury in some cases. You would decide to abrogate all of society based on your own whim?
Juries can be bribed.
So can you. Vanessa's like, actually, yes, you can.
No.
I'm sharing this to all your terminals, guys.
And what is that?
Internal affairs report on that bribe you took.
Which
And
one
apparently
is
you're also exchanging favors with a businesswoman.
this? Yeah. So? What's wrong with exchanging favors? I think my own sister blackmailed me only a couple of hours ago.
Sure did. So much for your ethics. Well, to be fair, he is arguing that he doesn't have any. No, he's arguing that he doesn't need them. There's a difference. I see you were right. Your brother's the exact kind of jackbooted thug that would stamp all over the rights of the populace.
Nonsense. I'm protecting the rights of the populace.
I see what you're saying.
That's assuming they have any rights in this corrupt, corporate-driven time we live in.
Well, I mean, it's only going to get more corrupt with licensed and badged officers advocating for a complete abandonment of police procedure,
Not what we
ethical
said.
conduct,
Not what we said.
at the time that they decide that that should be done.
Yeah, it's called judgment. It's called common sense. It's called evaluating the things that you're involved
that's
with.
not what you're arguing. What you should be arguing is that in the heat of the moment, you will occasionally have to do things that are outside of basic procedure in order to preserve your life, the life of a potential innocent, and the life of a fellow officer. What you're saying, however, is that you should just go out there with the preconceived notion that some people just have to die and you should do whatever you want. I feel that your argument is not being made well, if that is the case.
Well, to be fair, the first thing
To
was
be
kind of what
fair,
Barrows said.
he's not a public speaker.
Barrows did kind of say the first thing that you were saying that we should be saying. So.
Oh no, we don't have a problem with the forearm guy. It's just you, fascist.
Ah.
God, I can't believe you were right. You're such a... I'm such a what?
Bitch.
That's the word! You're such a bitch, but no, I mean, you were right about this guy.
You're not good at making friends, are you?
I'm usually good at making friends.
You were at the retirement home?
How old are you?
14.
Huh. Wait, you can even join the police academy that young?
I mean, 17.
Uh-huh.
Hey, I can't talk.
Well, what was that, Fossil?
Nothing.
Hey. I do have an ethical question if the officers who have actually been on the street would like to answer.
Of course.
Sure.
What should an officer do if he comes across a situation where two separate parties are both insisting that the other party is the wrongdoer in a self-defense incident?
That is a tricky one. Depending on where you are, of course. And
Don't you study anything? The procedures manual says you arrest both of them and bring them in for questioning.
if that's
but
an
what if
option.
they're both armed and refusing to back down, is my point.
Then you shoot both of them.
But one of them will be innocent. Maybe.
At that point, it's more of an evidence gathering thing, but it can depend on where you are and what kind of backup they have.
What if one of them's black?
That shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
But it does.
Why?
Because the one who isn't black is usually considered guilty.
Statistically, that could be the case, but
Well, actually, statistically speaking, while only making up 13.5% of the population, African American suspects or African suspects are guilty of 42.3% of the crime.
exactly. But it's a case-by-case basis. This could be.
I thought Asians had outstripped them. Really? Let's have a look at the data. Vanessa's like, looking. No, you're right. Asian crime has risen.
Yeah.
By a lot. Especially in Watson.
I'm not sure if you've had the full brief yet, but that would make sense. Splintering forces and the tiger claws and.
I'm
People
reading
reaching
your
for
reports
power.
now.
Look, you simply ask them both to stand down, and if they don't, you're going to have to arrest both of them.
By shooting them.
Not always.
Yeah, sometimes you can hit them with katanas or clubs.
Or
You
just-
also don't have to shoot them with lethal shots or firearms that are going to hurt them. There
That's
are
true.
non-lethal methods.
I endorse the use.
That's true. Stun battens can be purchased inexpensively. Actually, they're quite expensive. I mean, like, with your first paycheck, you could use half of it to buy a stun baton.
I also endorse the use of shotguns with rubber slugs. But yes, if you can avoid that confrontation and you can gather evidence without a fight, then that could be one way to ascertaining the guilty victim.
Also, if you're smart enough, you can use loaded questions and see if somebody slips up.
Nicole's like, who would do such a thing? That
You-
seems like a slimy lawyer thing to me.
This seems like something you would do. You're an expert at
That's an accusation,
looking at
officer.
the tiniest little inconsistency or...
Now, you were telling me that's a good thing.
Yeah,
I mean, it is.
you'd make a great cop, Nicole.
Go fuck yourself.
Now I've got a girlfriend to...
Go fuck yourself.
I got
It's a
girl-
reference to Elon Musk. GFY. He does have a girlfriend, and he's currently sharing on this little date quest. Oh, that's sickening. Who'd even want to touch a girl? Ew. You'll have to excuse gay Stephen.
Oh, of course. Gay Stephen.
What? Have I unintentionally done something here?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm sure the name is unrelated.
Related to what?
Steven!
Of course it fucking is.
It's Steven with a PH.
That would be Stefan.
Are there any more questions? Who's ready? Is it anyone particular or just a rando?
Big fat guy.
Yes, you.
I'm reading here that you were on the Khan task force, and he was brought in dead.
Yes.
The evidence in the truck was detonated with a Type 14 security explosive. It says here,
Okay.
which typically has a 2-minute timer.
Sure.
And the average disarm time, according to Militech's evaluation of the Type 14, is 56 seconds. Meaning you had plenty of time to disarm the explosive, but chose not to.
One would have to know the explosive was active.
I see.
And where it was, and how to disarm it.
So you chose to eschew the usual sweep procedures?
We chose to free the prisoner contained within.
Doesn't say
escape.
anything about a prisoner in here. I withdraw my question.
Of course. But I do have a recommendation that when you get partnered up with someone, make sure one of you is good with disarming bombs.
No, we don't get to choose that.
Well, something you can pick up along the way.
You, of course, have the good one with disarming bombs.
I have a tiny amount of skill in the matter, but the restarting of the endeavors to build a clinic would say that I'm not an expert. And that's a field that you don't want to go into without that level of expertise. You know how Night City criminals are with their explosives.
Nicole's like, I refer you to the Bozo files.
Those are weird.
The criminals seem to have better access to arms than we do most of the time.
And that's coming from a guy with 4 of them.
No.
Try not to get in the scream sheets so much. It's not a good idea.
And it's just like, yes, I'm discovering that right now.
At the end of the day, it's a lot of ammunition that can and has been used against us.
It seems your entire relationship with Lisa Steele is completely documented in these things.
Absolutely.
I wonder how much of it is true and how much of it has been warped.
Hard to say.
I mean, you could ask him, but,
To be fair, questions related to Barrows and Lisa Steele's relationship are nothing to do with that's private matter and nothing to do with ethics or NCPD work.
wrong, sir. It lays the foundation for a fundament to understanding the decision-making process which has gone into some of the cases in his backstory, particularly those relating to the woman in question. Therefore, I argue that the good officer should be allowed limited questioning into the nature of his relationship should it pertain specifically to the disposition of his mood, intentions, and decisions leading into several events, particularly the Coronado Dam incident and another one preceding that, says Nicole.
Okay.
Long
so-
Just like, I'm going to allow it.
Long story short, because he is infatuated with her, it affects him emotionally.
It didn't start out that way, I will add. But you can ask your questions.
I didn't have any.
Oh, okay.
Timothy. You suck so much.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure all the girls here want sordid, sleazy gossip.
I'm not just going to provide that.
Vanessa's like, that's because there isn't any.
No, you don't have to be a genius net runner to figure that out.
You just have to be able to read.
Yeah. Or a vague awareness of speedball personas.
Well, was that all, officers?
Well, unless there's any subject matter about ethics you think hasn't been covered that we could provide information on.
You haven't really discussed ethics at all, except don't.
Not gonna lie, the bulk of our current experience in Watson has been rather hectic. I've lost about 90% of my blood every second day.
And do you think it is the right thing to do to return to work when you're not capable of performing at a maximum level, thus potentially endangering other officers?
I think the decision on whether you return to the field is left up to your lieutenant.
To be fair, we often don't return to work. We act as vigilantes.
We don't do that. We just run into crimes while we are out.
Sure.
Saying we're vigilantes is like we plan to go out and fight crime on our off hours.
According to this, you do.
Well, we expect that it's probably going to happen.
This is just smirking. He's just like, I'm not going to throw up a veil over what we are.
Putting aside that one time that we left the city and did that.
Ah, yes. I believe the department had to compensate a number of other municipalities quite a large amount of money which has come out of the departmental budget because you two completely went outside of your jurisdiction and basically acted like a pair of, edgelord edge runners.
It was our day off.
That didn't work.
According to this, you'd agreed to do overtime. On a non-regulation stipulated basis and had not withdrawn that, so you were technically on call.
I was going to say, what it was we were on call, yes, but then again, we technically always are as part of the NCPD. Except when we're not fit for duty.
And Nicole's like, so when would that expire?
What, not being fit for duty, or...
I mean...
Or is that some kind of wry comment about whether we're fit to be cops at all?
Oh, you're absolutely fit to be cops.
Oh, here we go.
You absolutely are. I can't argue that. You had a little bit of paper with a signature on it and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that went well.
Didn't you cause a major corporate incident?
Yeah, we did, but that guy was an asshole.
To be fair, no, we didn't cause the major corporate incident.
No, we resolved it.
Thank you. They caused it.
That was one of those things I mentioned about hills you're willing to die on. Happened to be one of mine. You don't pull that shit and expect to get away with it. I'll admit it might have been rash, and there was likely another way to resolve the matter. But,
Then we almost died multiple times.
yeah.
Well, I think that's more than enough. You've undone a lot of good work, and now everyone has to stay in the academy another week.
No problem.
A lot of good work you only took for 15 minutes. What, the whole ethics thing only goes for 2 hours, and we were here for over an hour
There
and a half.
are other classes on procedure that you are undoing with every passing minute.
Oh.
Now I suggest you go back out into the desperate wasteland that occupies your perception of the world and carry on being an utter disgrace to the uniform.
Ouch.
Wow. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, kids, where we'll go now.
Kids, I'm 42.
We're out of disgraces even though we get results.
6th Street also gets results.
No, they don't.
They actually do at this point in time. they are better than the NCPD at this point of time.
I'd be careful with 6th Street if I were you.
Yeah, I have foreknowledge. It doesn't end well. Oh, fuck, I got to meet Gunner. I just forgot about that. That was cool.
To be fair, we don't know if it's going to end well for us, so maybe we shouldn't rank on 6 to 2.
Well, we know it doesn't end super
Hey, according to my
well.
latest playthrough of 2077, your grandkid's doing great. He's a multi-millionaire. He has the nicest apartments. His car is cool. His girlfriend's annoying, but hot-ish. I mean, she's not Judy, is what I'm saying.
Who is his girlfriend?
Kira Uridine. No, I'm kidding.
I was like,
Pan Am.
Oh, yeah.
The only other
The
option.
only actual option.
It was really? There really needed to be more options.
If you're a female character, River's a very fucking great option. He's easily like the best relationship guy. He's just a bit of a...
Idealist?
He's a bit plain.
Quite liked his story chain.
Oh, Jesus Christ, it's really good. At the like Find Randy thing is just like really intense.
Really top
Really
tier.
intense. I know everyone goes on about Cinnamon, but I'm like, yeah, that's good, but like this is also...
I had to do it twice because it bugged out on me on the PC.
Ah.
It couldn't... there was a part where I couldn't... I checked every single fucking tube in the farm, every single pod,
And it wasn't working.
and it wasn't working.
I had a problem.
It was doing the thing where it's like it's found it, but there was no interact with it.
Ah.
Yeah. I had to restart that. I had to go back to an earlier save, restart that whole thing.
I had an issue with turning the security off in the house just before the
I didn't
warehouse
bother.
part. Yeah, in the end I had to not bother because I couldn't find how to do it.
Um,
It's like there was a whole other area of the house that I couldn't get into.
yeah, there's a downstairs, right? In my most recent playthrough, I couldn't get down there. And I'm just like, fuck it, I'm Vince's grandkid.
Yeah.
I have the
Gun.
gun you get from the end of Phantom Liberty, and it's... like everyone says it's one of the most powerful weapons. It's a submachine gun with a range of 18. It sucks.
Sounds
It's like, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm shooting energy from the black wall at people. Like, this is fantasy fiction writing.
Yeah, that sounds fucking retarded.
It's like, it's not at all consistent, but it's like, this isn't the Force.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, the gun talks to me. That's cool. I like a talking gun. And it's less stupid than Skippy. I just really, I was like, yes, you're kind of easy to kill. That's good to know.
Just wish it didn't shoot some fucking nonsense energy that doesn't exist.
I just say it's a laser weapon. Laser weapons canonically exist in the
Yeah.
cyberpunk setting. They're rare, but it's a cool looking gun. But I was just like, man, I could spray you with these, or I could just... and pulls out Vincent's revolver and just goes, pop! One shot. It's like,
Yeah.
or I could just do that.
Just hold down Carrie's overture, like...
Dark Angel. That's the one I'm using.
fucking
I
solid.
wasn't going to, but the only Overture models I've been able to find that can take a mod slot are weird colours, and I'm like, no, Vincent's grandkid has to have the cool looking gun.
Yeah. I found it to be significantly more effective than the Malorian. It kind of annoyed me a little bit.
I actually found the Malorian to be better than the Archangel. It's like, okay, the Archangel is capable of autofire, but the Malorian's got 10 shots, it does more damage.
I found that the Archangel was doing more damage. Maybe I need to test it again. Need the Malorian when you're in the Johnny fucking... like, flashback bit where it just fucking one-shots everyone.
Malorian does less damage per shot, but its refire rate is so much higher
Oh, yeah.
that, so I'm just still
DPS
headshotting everything with
basically.
one shot, so... And that higher, and that alternate, and the Malay alternate is just incredible.
I actually never used the bashes.
Yeah, I don't with pistols either, except the Malorian, because it's insane. Anyway, back to game we're playing. not game that I'll be playing when we're done here. You guys leave the bathroom. The last thing you hear is just like, oh god, your brother's so uncool. I thought he was cool, but he's not. Who does that thing where they say hateful to kids? He was being an ironic hipster douchebag. Do all people know about irony? Of course they do.
You can't be cool and doing that. You can't.
You can't.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
The more cool you try to be. If I tried to be cool,
It
would have reversed on me. If I'd made cool rolls, it would have come out the other side and been super uncool. Because the more you try and be cool and rap with the kids, worse it's become.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, who's the coolest guy you can think of? In the real world.
Why am I suddenly struggling to remember? I guess Arnie's pretty cool.
Right. Have you ever actually seen any of his school talks?
No.
Right.
I already have a feeling they're incredibly uncool, though. I can see it.
Yep. What you don't want to be doing is eating a lot of seed oils or donuts. The best thing to have is muesli bars. There's lots of protein in them. You don't want sugary snacks. You should never eat sugary snacks or seed oils. They will give you the heart problems.
You know,
There's nothing less cool than a guy who's like, oh man, he's really cool, and he's just like being really serious and earnest, and it's just like, oh god, you could make this interesting, you choose not to.
Yeah. Right, you got your little, got your clue.
Well,
Yeah, well, you know where it
destination
is.
for the next clue.
Destination, Ruby, Ruby, Ruby Soho.
Ready to guess?
Sorry, I made myself throw up a little in my mouth. That song is ruined forever.
So, to Amegis's then.
I'm gonna do this thing where I like walk to go to the driver's door. Remember that it's not my car, even though I was driving it just before, and then walked a long way around the other side like I intended it always.
So, where are we? I'm gonna get in the car, and then I'm gonna be like, "What did you do to my seat?
What do you mean? What did I do to
What
your
do you do?
seat?
It's all wrong."
Yeah, well, I had to change it.
No, you don't change another guy's seat. You probably change the radio station.
No, I
as
didn't
well.
touch the radio station.
No.
If I had to change the seat, I have more arms.
My ass groove was all fucked. You ruined my ass groove.
It's not supposed to have an ass groove.
It took me a week to get this thing just
That's
right.
a car seat, not a couch.
Yeah, but these are leather seats. Look at
Pass under the archway. The Academy motto, per Augusta ad Augusta.
I don't know what that stands for. What that be?
You don't think about Rome enough.
Likely. Can you ever really think about Rome enough?
I mean, the question never fucking occurred to me until recently.
Drive land vehicles. 16.
He drives all cool.
Yeah.
It's to Amegis's.
I feel like my mojo's coming back after leaving my classroom.
Yeah, that might have been an unmitigated disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, think about it. 85% of them will be dead within their first 2 weeks on shift anyway.
Probably.
Should like at least 10 of them are going to die in the Academy.
Yeah, well, they lost one today. At least.
Well, on a not us related matter, it was the wind.
This must have been the wind.
It was the wind.
Damn it. Arrest the wind!
No, you'll never take me alive!
He's getting away.
Curse you, Zephyr! The Zephyr. Mission accomplished.
I'm so glad I hadn't had more of that at that point.
So we pull up outside the Remegius's.
Okay, the first thing that annoys you is that the Boromir action figure comes with a scabbard for his dagger and sword, but no means of attaching it to the figure.
Fuck.
That's just stupid.
You also can't sling his shield on his back,
Fuckers!
Fucker.
which means I now have to buy black thread to custom mount things. The shield, at least, and the scabbard. And the Legolas action figure comes with sheaths for his long knives, but does not come with the long knives because they cut the budget on the figure. You know, but that's okay. He couldn't wield them because he does not come with replacement hands.
Just take the sheaves away too.
But he has them.
He
actually
also
gonna-
has knives.
What I'm actually going to do is take the long knives out of my original released Legolas figure and just put them on the new figure.
Okay.
Presuming they fit the sheath, which they should. And if they don't, I can file them down. He's never going to be drawing them. No replacement hands, as I mentioned. The Gimli figure is the best one. It's cool, it's stocky. He actually has like little movable rings you can slot all the axes into.
Cool.
Does this... I can't really tell from here, but does this one look more like Sean Bean and less like Batistuta?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Gabriela Batistuta was a striker for Argentina during the good years. The ones before you. So unfair.
But the original... Yeah, I remember the original...
The original action figure looked more like Gabriela Batistuta than Sean Bean.
How much does he look like Sean Bean?
Actually, from certain angles, quite a bit.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's you can see why it just happened to look
One of the
more
trading cards I had, I actually substituted
Yes.
for a fake one I mocked up, which was
With
just
the-
Gabriela Batistuta.
Which
And
was
I just-
great when you snuck it into an actual game against Craig, and it took him a while to click.
Because he was looking at it, it's going like... He was looking at it, it's going like... He was looking at it, it's going like... He was looking at it, it's going like...